Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the Juice Master Gaming YouTube channel. I wanted to just run through my predictions for tonight's AEW Revolution pay-per-view. Hopefully it's going to be pretty exciting. 12 matches, so a big card. Hopefully they might show some content for the new AEW game. Not getting my hopes up, but we'll talk about next week what possibly from this night's event that could actually be incorporated into the game. Always thinking about that. But for now, let's talk about my predictions. First three matches are going to be on the buy-in event. I'm going to start off with Hook versus QT Marshall. This is going to be purely to showcase Hook's skills. QT, being his trainer, is hopefully going to make him look like $1 million. And I think QT's going to be in a position where he can give him a good match as well. There could be some interference from some of QT's boys. But I think Hook's going to look powerful here. It's going to be Suplex City. And he's going to win it with his Red Rum submission. Probably in fairly quick time, I would think. Moving on from that, we've got legit Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander. And I think Layla Hirsch will get the victory here. I don't think the loss will be too hard for Statlander. I think Hirsch needs it more. Could be quite a hard-hitting match. But I'm going with legit Layla Hirsch to win this. As she's the heel, she might not win it clean. Just to protect Statlander a little bit. Moving on to the final match in the buy-in section of the pay-per-view, we've got the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King and Buddy Matthews versus Pac, Penta and Eric Redbeard. This should be a decent six-man match. Obviously Eric Redbeard is in there because Ray Phoenix is still injured, having broken his arm for Death Triangle. I would probably say that House of Black will win this. I think it's going to be too early for them to get a defeat into their conception as a team. Buddy Matthews has only just joined the company, so I don't really think it's going to look good if he loses his debut match. I would expect it again to be quite a hard-hitting match, not unlike the previous match. And I would say that I don't think it would go too long, but I think House of Black will get a decent win here. That being said, Pac and Penta, two excellent singles and tag team competitors, and Eric Redbeard being a powerhouse himself. So it'd be interesting to see, how they make that one work, who takes the pin. But I'm going with House of Black on that one. Next up, onto the main pay-per-view now. TBS Championship. Jade Cargill defending against Ty Conti. This is going to be a Jade Cargill win. Can't see Ty taking the belt off her this early into her reign. Ty's improved a lot in the time that she's been in AEW, and I'm sure they'll make her look strong. But Jade Cargill, they're giving her that Goldberg-like streak, and it's too early for her to drop the title, baby. Just far too early. So Jade Cargill in an impressive win here. Next up, we've got the fairly bizarre storyline of the Andrade Hardy family office in a six-man tag versus Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara and Sting. So it's Andrade and Matt Hardy with Isaiah Cassidy. And this is a six-man tornado match. And I just can't understand why they just didn't save the three-man trios match, TNT title match, for the pay-per-view. They had it on Rampage. It was an excellent match on Friday night. But just save it for the pay-per-view. I guess they just wanted to put a few more people on the pay-per-view, like Cassidy and Sting, to give them the payday. But they could have still been involved in the trios title match. So interesting that they've chosen for a six-man, especially as there's a six-man match already on the buy-in anyway. But I'm going to go with the faces to win this one. Darby, Sammy and Sting. Doesn't make much sense for them to lose. We'll probably see some explosions and fallout within the Hardy family set up with Andrade could potentially be something that Jeff Hardy works his way into. Wouldn't be surprised if Jeff was to debut tonight. Not entirely sure what his remaining contractual non-working days are with WWE, but we'll see what happens with that one. Next up, the tag team titles being defended in the three-way tag team match. Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, of course, defending against Red Dragon, which is Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, versus the Young Bucks as well. So a lot of the build-up to this has involved Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. Jurassic Express seemed to be a little bit of a byproduct to this match, actually. And I think you're either going to get the Jurassic Express retain or Red Dragon will win the belts. It could be a bit early for Red Dragon. When I was thinking about this earlier, I was going to go with Red Dragon. But actually now I'm thinking dissension between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks will lead to a Jurassic Express win. Yeah, we're going with Jurassic Express on this one. So, next, Moxley versus Danielson. This is a potential show stealer. I reckon it will be hard hitting. I reckon it could be very, very physical. There'll be the technical elements from Danielson as well. And I don't really care who wins this. I just want them to absolutely batter each other. And I think they'll probably be putting this little two-man power trip together regardless of the result of this match. So just enjoy this match, guys. I'm going to go with Danielson for the win, but it could quite easily be Moxley, and I really don't mind. Next, we've got Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. This is really to further the Inner Circle implosion. Of course, Kingston is buddies with Santana and Ortiz, so it'd be interesting to see how this develops. I think Kingston needs the win a lot more than Jericho. At this point in Jericho's career, Eddie needs to get a pay-per-view win because he hasn't had one for a while. So I think Eddie Kingston, and it will further pull away the Inner Circle faction from Jericho's grasp. Next, another potential show stealer. The Face of the Revolution ladder match for the future AEW TNT Championship title shot. Now remember, last year it was won by Scorpio Sky, and he did fail to actually cash in successfully. So doesn't necessarily mean that the winner of this match is going to automatically beat Sammy for the belt, but we'll see what happens. Keith Lee versus Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks versus Wardlow versus Christian Cage. My goodness me. And there could well be a mystery person inserted as well. You never quite know what Tony Khan's going to put on us at the last minute. I'm going to go with Keith Lee on this one. I think it would be good to see one of the big guys win it. Could quite easily be Wardlow as well. I don't think Cassidy or Christian or Starks are going to get the dub here. It's going to be one of the three big guys, Hobbs, Lee or Wardlow, but I'm going to go Keith Lee. I think Wardlow could be screwed out of it, either intentionally or inadvertently, by his boy and Mr. Chairman, and I don't know whether or not that is actually going to happen. Are they actually going to start pushing this explosion of the Pinnacle? I don't know. But Sean Spears will certainly be there at ringside, so something's going to happen. And if it's a clean win, you would suspect Wardlow will get the victory. It could also be too early for Keith Lee, but I'm sticking by my guns. I'm going to go Keith Lee. Next, we've got the AEW Women's Title match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Thunder Rosa. And we all remember the unbelievable lights out match that they had last year. And that was during the pandemic era. And just an unbelievable match. This may not be as good, but I'm still expecting it to be high level. And I suspect Britt Baker will retain the belt here. Obviously, she took the loss in the unsanctioned match that they had. But I'm going to go with Dr. Britt Baker for this one. Next, in what I'm saying was the double main event, we've got CM Punk versus MJF in a dog collar match. I think we're going to see MJF get the win here. If CM Punk wins, they're going to be tied at 1-1. I'd like to see MJF just outright win this feud because I think it makes sense. Whoever wins this match is going to probably move on to get a AEW World Title shot against whichever Adam wins. And I think Punk doesn't really need that. I think MJF needs that. This is all about MJF at the moment, and Punk won't be hurt by this loss. So we're going with MJF for this. And finally, in the AEW singles match world title event, we're going with Hangman Page to defeat Adam Cole. I think this just makes sense. Again, really early in Hangman Page's title reign, for which was an exceptional build, but his title reign so far has been a little bit, I think it's been a little bit under par, and I think he needs this win over Adam Cole. I suspect there's going to be involvement from Red Dragon, which will lead to involvement from Young Bucks, with that possible reforming of Page's relationship with the Young Bucks, leading to an Elite versus Undisputed Era 6-man event at some point. Of course, you can insert Kenny into that as well when he's back. So I think you could see multiple angles play out from that title match. But I'm going with Hangman to retain. And who knows, we may see some footage of the video game at some point during this. Hoping we will see something. Kenny Omega did intimate that could be the case. But let's not get our hopes up, ladies and gentlemen. But please enjoy the event. If you've purchased it, I'll be talking about it later in the week. And we'll see what happens. But for the time being, thank you very much indeed for joining me on the channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. Goodbye.